Hi, hope everyone's doing great. You doing alright, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Welcome along to Poké Reiver and Nolly, the weekly shout-out series for Pokemon fans where we ask the questions you've always wanted to ask. This week we're going to be asking what theme would your Pokemon town follow? And we'll be giving our answers at the end of the episode, but let's find out what you all had to say about last week's question.
Yeah, last week we asked which location would make a good Pokemon region. Let's read and discuss what you all had to say.
Yeah, there was a lot of suggestions for America. Some really cool suggestions like the Redwood Forest near California and the Florida swamps.
Yeah, places like San Francisco Bay would have been cool and unique, but the US had already had their own region. Unova from Gen 5 was pretty much New York, mixed with other places in the US, so no more for you.
Still, give a shout out for Alcatraz Island. That's a pretty good idea. I want to see a Pokemon film where a Pikachu and Snubbull are locked up for 2 consecutive life sentences in a maximum security prison, and then they make like this unlikely friendship. Oh wait, that's the Shawshank Redemption, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon Morgan Freeman could play a Pokemon no problem. I also like the comment about having Australia as a region. Let's look at the country, for instance. It has its own forest, desert, an amazing coastline. Mixed with the modern era and the Aboriginals, has the potential to be an amazing region.
Yeah, plus like Pokemon, everything's trying to kill you as a 10-year-old. One last thing that I wanted to discuss was a comment from Shotfire7 who suggested Pokemon region in space.
I like this idea a lot. As a futuristic Pokemon, I'd like the notion that you'd travel to each planet, battle the gym leaders that had their own specialised Pokemon depending on the planet's resources. Then having a planet where the Pokemon Space League competition will be held. Who knows? It might take you as long as Ash Ketchum to win the Pokemon League. Congratulations to him for finally becoming a Pokemon League winner. Obviously I nailed that 20 years ago playing Pokemon Red on the Game Boy. But it's not a race. I think it'd be well worth it though, in space.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer something like if it was on like a single space station. You'd be constantly worried about having battles and puncturing the walls and being sucked out into space.
I think we've all answered which location would be a good Pokemon region, so let's move on to this week's question.
Yeah, so to remind you, this week's question is what theme would your Pokemon towns follow? So for example, Kanto is themed around colours, and Unova is based around cloudy weather, stuff like that. Remember to comment below with your answer. So what are your thoughts on the subject, mate?
I feel that the theme of my towns will be based on the most popular Pokemon in the region of the town and have a nickname for them. A couple of examples I've come up with. Say there's a place which is full of Onyxes or Geodudes, just call the place Rocky City. Or if there was a place populated with Jigglypuffs, easily call it Sleepy City.
That's a pretty mint idea. Would it be Pokemon that people have brought in? Or is it like wild Pokemon in the area?
I think wild Pokemon would be the best. That way every so often you might have to change the name of the town depending on the Pokemon that's around.
I'm sure it'd be fine. Pokemon don't seem to migrate that much. I went for something a bit different, basing town names off butterfly species. Something like Monarch City or Fertility Village. But to be honest, now that I think about it, maybe it's not a good idea. Though, as obviously there's only really Butterfree is the only butterfly in the Pokemon universe, so I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, but you could have a shrine to Butterfree in the Elite Four.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we've got time for this week. If you made it this far, you're an absolute legend, and we want to hear from you. Answer the question in the comments below with the hashtag PokéParty.
And hit the subscribe bell so you're notified about next week's episode.
We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye.